These are the people who are in there every day, making beds, changing sheets, helping your loved one go to the bathroom, helping your loved one eat, helping your loved one transfer from their bed to their wheelchair, their bed to their chair, um, taking vitals. They aren't giving medication because they're not allowed to do that. But these are the people who do every single thing I feel in a facility. I mean, depending on where your loved one lives, it could be anything. It could even be cleaning the toilets. You never know, right? So, depending on staffing, these CNAs do it all.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
Hiya, hi everybody. It's Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories. I hope you're having a really great week. And today I just wanted to give y'all a quick talk about some of the people who help take care of our loved ones when they live in assisted living or at a hospital, skilled nursing, and possibly someone who could come into your house, but prob- maybe not. They might have this qualification, and if they do, that's great. But they are CNAs. They are the certified nurse assistants. They are the people who we see every single day when you go into your loved one's facility. Like I said, they also work at hospitals. These are the people who are in there every day, making beds, changing sheets, helping your loved one go to the bathroom, helping your loved one eat, helping your loved one transfer from their bed to their wheelchair, their bed to their chair, um, taking vitals. They aren't giving medication because they're not allowed to do that. But these are the people who do every single thing I feel in a facility. I mean, depending on where your loved one lives, it could be anything. It could even be cleaning the toilets. You never know, right? So, depending on staffing, these CNAs do it all. And I feel as if sometimes they're overlooked, they're taken advantage of, they're um, they're not compensated very well. And I do have to say that if a lot of us who are out there caring for our loved ones knew how much that these people made, you might think differently of them and think that they are the best person in the world, and they probably are. They do this because they are caring and they are loving, and sometimes it's a way to work up to being the next level, whether it's a LVN or an RN or a medical assistant, whatever it might be. This might be their stepping stone, their very first stepping stone, and sometimes this is just something that they're able to do, and they do it. So, certified nursing assistant, CNA, they have to go to school for this. So this is obviously a certified job. You must be 18 years old. You must have graduated high school. You must have a clean background check. Those kinds of things. You can go to a school like a community college. I looked it up in my area. We have Tarrant County Community College. They have a location that offers CNA training and CNA certification. Um, there, the cost is 600, or sorry, $565 for the classes. The state test, which you must take, is $125. Books are around 125. You At this location, you must wear a specific forest green colored scrub or uniform. That's about $75, and then closed-toed, non-skid leather shoes. So that could be anything really, as long as they're white or black. So roughly $80 to $100, and that's kind of where people are. Um, your certification lasts 2 years. You must be recertified every 2 years. And I did not know this. Um, Depending on where you go, not this program, the program I was just talking about is roughly, so you have to do 100 hours worth of work, so class work and in person. So however long that takes, but some programs are only 4 weeks long. Roughly they are between around 16 weeks, but they can take up to 6 months depending on where you live and what the requirements are for your state. But 4 weeks, that is a very short amount of time. And I really, if I were hiring, if I were the head of HR and I were hiring people and I saw they only did something for 4 weeks, I would really question what other training do they have, because 4 weeks is a very short amount of time. And I might be a little particular about that one. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know, but 4 weeks seems like a very short amount of time. So like I said, these people are going to class, then they have to do I think it said 100 hours worth of class time plus or not 100 hours, 100 hours of class time and hands-on experience together. That's a combination. And then you take your written exam through the state and you become, CNA. And in Texas, they are paid roughly around $17.80 an hour. I know kids in my area that babysit that make more than that. And this is where I really want to get into it because, like I said, what they are making and what these people are doing is just amazing to me. We see them, these can be the ones that we complain about, right? So they're worked hard. And depending on the facility, if they are understaffed, these people tend to be overworked. Maybe the facility is not keeping state ratios. The state ratio in Texas is 1 caregiver to 8 people. And I know there are plenty of places where the ratio is higher than that. Heck, I was talking to a caregiver one time when she lived in North Carolina. She worked at a facility where the overnight staff, there were 100 people on the floor. 100. And there were 2 caregivers. So they would each take a cart, they'd load them up. She said they would work on one end, they'd take each side, they'd work on one end, and by the time you got to one end, you knew you had to go back to the other end to start all over again because it took you that long to get through 50 people. That should be illegal. That is, I, this person no longer lives in North Carolina, but I really wish that they had reported that to the state. That I feel is just negligible and it's not fair to the people who are working there, right? They're trying their best. They're trying to give your loved ones the best care, and that's impossible to do when there's only 2 people for 100 people. That's insane. Now, where my mom lives, the ratios are low, right? I've talked about this. You all know this. The ratios are super low where my mom lives. And so they have 2 people on staff during the day, 12-hour shift, and they are more than a CNA, and because they're both allowed to give out medication. So CNAs are not allowed to give out medication, but the people who care for my mom are allowed to give out medication, so they are a higher qualification than just a CNA. But, my mom has lived in facilities where there's CNAs, and some of them are lovely. They're wonderful people. They tend to be young. Like I said, this is something that maybe, depending on what happened, they couldn't go to college, but this is a career that could give them, maybe, like I said, a stepping stone, a job. Some facilities allow for when my mom lived at her last facility, I do know they did tuition reimbursement. So maybe some of these people were going to school outside of their job so that they could move up within the medical world, right? So I knew a girl, she really wanted to go to nursing school. She was a CNA. She wanted to go to nursing school. She was trying really hard. She wanted to go into radiology. That's what she wanted to do. I really loved her. I tried to convince her that maybe she should change her plan and not do radiology and stay within the geriatric world, but I know that's very hard. But like I said, these are the frontline girls. And I say girls because a mass majority of them are girls. There are wonderful men who do this job too, but a majority of them are girls. And they are the ones, like I said, who are doing everything that your loved one needs so you don't do it. So, like I said, bathroom, showers, changing dirty linens, changing dirty clothes, dealing with personalities of our loved ones, which can swing depending on what is wrong with your loved one. They could be a little combative, which is maybe why you put them in a facility and you couldn't take it every day, but now these girls are taking it every day and they are trying their hardest. So this is when I think we look at these girls, we look at these people who do this job, we say thank you. I mean, every time I'm at my mom's facility, if she has to go to the restroom, I take her, I change her if she needs to have new underpants put on, or clothes if she's dirty. I take care of it. I know not everybody does that. Some people feel that they're paying for it, regardless if they're there, they're going to have a caretaker do it. I'm not that person. I mean, I'm there. I know I can help take care of my mother. I've done it in the past. I'm happy to do it. And that just gives the girls a little bit more time to focus on another resident while I'm there. I mean, because I could be there between an hour to 2 hours. So that gives them some time to focus on somebody else while I'm there. And they deserve it. So, yeah, I think while you're at your facility, you're at the hospital, if someone like this comes into your home, we just say thankful. We say thank you and we are thankful and we um, show them gratitude. They're working hard, they're doing all the dirty work, and they're not being paid a ton for it. I mean, really, if you look at it, for the whole year, taxes, those kinds of things, you're roughly making $35,000 to $36,000 a year. And you're probably doing 12-hour shifts at least 5 days a week. Maybe you're picking up extra shifts, so now you're doing more, and not everything else that you have to do. Do you have do these people have a family? Do they have other people that they're taking care of? There's a woman who works at my mom's facility and she helps take care of her disabled brother. So when she goes home, she takes care of somebody else also. So just think about it while you're there. Say thank you. How can I help? What can we do? Can I, even if it's just call ahead. Hey, I'm going to the Starbucks. Does anybody need a coffee? And make a Starbucks order. They will appreciate it. And or bring something in. You know that the CNA that you love the most, because we all do have our favorites, loves cookies from where I live is Cookie Society. Maybe bring in one or two of those and bring in their favorite drink, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a lot, but also just a thank you probably could go a long way. And don't forget about Christmas. I tip very well for the hourly staff at Christmas. This is what I do personally. And if you know their birthday, maybe give them a little something extra on their birthday too. Okay. And there are sometimes rules about that. So double check at Christmas time. I know where my mom lives. If you give to one hourly employee, they ask that you give to all hourly employees. Um, so that's something to think about. Just know that. Birthday, I'm not quite sure how they do that, but I'm sure you could figure out how to give someone a birthday card and it'd be okay. So, all right, think about that. CNAs, they work hard, they don't make a ton of money, and they make everything work, right? I don't know how half these facilities would run without good CNAs. And some of them, if we're all honest, maybe aren't all the best, but you know what? They still do all the dirty work, and we still should say thank you. So, with that said, song of the week. I asked a friend what the song of the week was, and she asked her daughter. who is a big Taylor Swift fan. I am not, so I would not have known this song, and I just want to say thank you to her for giving me the song of the week. It is Bejeweled by Taylor Swift. I kind of looked into it because, like I said, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. She's fine, it's just not my genre. And saying that no matter where you go, you can be bejeweled, you can be the light, you can make a whole place shimmer just by your personality and who you are. So I think we can all do that. I know we can all be bejeweled and we can all shimmer and just make everything better. Okay. I hope you all have a really great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Love you guys.
Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.